Start over again.
Mrs. Walker told us about this great idea about the time-free library, and we really want to help her.
Class?
Yes.
What? Teach. Class?
Yes.
Let's line up.
Yes,
When I'm starting with the significant content that I have to teach, I spend a lot of time working towards a purpose that kids can relate to, that has meaning to their real life. I'm wanting them to do hands-on, authentic reasons for instance, things they have to do in third grade, like write persuasively, write informational writing, talk in small groups, one-on-one. And what I'm striving for is that they develop this way of thinking that will carry them through the rest of their life, kind of a habit of the mind, where they're speaking clearly and selecting what they say, in a way so that other people can understand them well, because that's something that they're going to need to do no matter what they do in their life. And so a project or a hands-on experience provides that context so that significant content can be taught in a meaningful way, in a way that really that they can take away with them and apply it in a lot of different situations. So the way the Little Free Library works, it's kind of like a birdhouse. It sits on a pole, and you put it near the street, and you stock it full of books, and the neighborhood understands that it's take one, leave one, and it's kind of a serendipitous process that you never know exactly what's going to be in there, but it's a community asset. It's really a meeting place for neighbors. They'll stop at the little free library and meet one another and share ideas about books. For our own students, it's been a wonderful resource, especially in the summertime. It's used all year round, but especially in the summertime, because a lot of our families don't have a lot of resources and books at home. So it is regularly used all summer long, all year long. Well, as a third grade teacher, I do have obligations to deliver the curriculum, and I knew that upcoming was going to be teaching persuasive writing. And I thought this would be a perfect placement for this project, because there was going to be a lot of persuading that we were going to have to do in order to get this project in our community.
What I did last year for the Little Free Library was that I convinced the second graders to watch the video and convince them to be stewards for the Little Free Library. How I did that was I made a commercial for them, and how I got the idea for the commercial was we watched some commercials to see how we're going to make our commercial. We also, in the video, we also convinced them and told them that they had to take care of the Little Free Library and what they had to do to take care of it.
One thing that I think is really important that we probably don't spend enough time is that students have time to approximate what adult proficiencies are. And this, what I mean by this is that there's time to role play, there's time to experiment, there's time to pretend, there's time to imagine what their lives might be like and what they might be doing in their future. Students had different roles. They didn't all do the same thing. And we divided up into committees. And so there was the committee to present to the superintendent, and there was the committee to talk with the principal and do a persuasive rating for the principal, and there was a committee to find out who our neighborhood organizer was. I really built on student strengths. Like, we had some kids that were very artistic, so they were on the design committee and they picked out the colors and how the actual structure was going to be painted. We had students who were greeters during our open house, and refreshment committee. So everybody understood that even though they weren't all doing the same thing, they had a very important role in the grand scheme of things.
Here is the front, and here's the roof. I just doodled a little bit. That's where the names were supposed to go. So right here is the side, which is the right side of the Little Free Library, and that's the little knob that you can take the books out right here. And then the bush, that's the side door, and there's nothing on the back. This is the front roof. It's where all the names are supposed to go. I kind of just doodled on that too.
So engaging students so that they're deeply inquiring about a topic is sometimes kind of tricky, because maybe their interest isn't at the level that will require them to do that. But when you have a project or hands-on learning where they're really invested, their personal life is invested in it, and they're seeing a real result that will have a lasting effect that they believe in.
Devin was really excited about the Little Free Library. When she came home talking about it, I was confused as to what she meant, that they were creating the library at school, and it turned out to be the Little Free Library. She was excited that her entire class, the entire third grade, was doing this project together. And she also got really excited about convincing the second graders, or informing them about the project and the responsibilities and what the Little Free Library would bring to the school and the neighborhood.
So everything that they investigated, they researched, there was a real purpose, and they would dig. And that idea of perseverance and not giving up until you find it really came through in this particular area, because they wanted to know, they needed to know, because without the information they wouldn't be able to take the next step.
Just got installed for our Little Free Library.
Yay!
All the tasks were organized around that driving question. Can you imagine having a place in our neighborhood where there would be books available anytime, all summer long? And so, a lot of people think about project-based learning or hands-on, that kids are making posters or they're doing things like that. And yes, in fact, kids did make posters, but the poster was because they were always applying it back to that driving question. Can you imagine this? If you can imagine this, what do we need to do in order to realize that imagination? When establishing a need to know, there's a lot of explicit instruction that goes into hands-on learning or a project. They were explicitly taught how to write a persuasive letter. They had peer reviews where other students would read each other. They would read each other's drafts of their letters and look point by point. Did I include this? Did I include that? And so they collaborated back and forth in that way. We had rubrics where they scored each other on how they were explaining something that they knew. Well, the Little Free Library is kind of quintessential having a public audience. I mean, it's available. It's on the sidewalk in our neighborhood. You can't get much more public than that. But I was intentional about how I tried to include the public, and right from the beginning. When we were deciding about what our library should be, the shape, the style, parents, along with their student, were invited to vote on which style that we were going to choose.
Email to a bunch of people in the community, and I got a lot of positive feedback. They're very excited about this project, and a lot of them want to know, when it's going to open and what kind of books will be there and what they can both borrow and give back. So it's going to be a really good thing for our community, and they were really impressed with you guys for having such a good project. I think we should be clapping for you.
There's more opportunity for students to really feel like their voice is being valued, because they don't all fit into the same category. So they might find something where they feel a useful purpose, or they feel like they are comfortable in making that choice. Whenever a big project is taken on, I feel that there is an obligation to think about a sustainability plan, because of all the time and effort that goes into it. Is there going to be a life to this project after maybe you are not part of the school, or the students have moved on? And so this year we're working on a sustainability plan for our Little Free Library, because it is part of our community, and we want the students to know that they can still contribute. And so each year the third graders are going to become the stewards of the Little Free Library. The community organizer came to me and said, we love this project, we love this Little Free Library in our neighborhood, and we're wondering, could we work with you this year and take the next step and maybe do some landscaping around the Little Free Library, or maybe we could come together and do a fundraiser and buy a bench so people could come and sit and talk and discover a book and
Welcome neighbors, Kendon students, teachers, Principal Miss Keaton, and honored guests. My name is William Sawyer, and I am a third grader here at Kendon. We are here for the grand opening of our Little Free Library. Our goals for this project are to inspire readers and for neighbors to be friendly. My name is Devin Carr, and I am also a third grader here at Kendon too. This project started 6 weeks ago. Miss Walker gave us the idea, and we agreed to help her.
He is officially going to